This is the Ewart tap off the Bantam, very similar to lots and lots of other British bikes. This is in the tank. It's a mesh filter which is slightly crumbly. Gasket, of course, that seals it to the tank. Then you have a push-pull sleeve which is completely seized on this one. And then there are varieties of the turn wheel depending on what bike it's fitted to. So some will pull and twist to lock, some will pull and twist to provide a reserve, some will just pull straight out. So disassembly is pretty straightforward. You've got a screw here which in theory should release this, but we shall see. As I say, this one is completely seized solid, so let's try and find out. Oh dear. Let's try and find out. There we go. So, undo the screw, which has a little washer. Very small. And still nothing. Not a sausage. Right, okay. I'll have to give this a squirt of some sort of lubricant and come back in a second. Okay, we've lubed it up and it hasn't had any effect whatsoever. So I'm going to have to try and give it a bit of gentle persuasion. Using a soft hammer. There she goes. But will it come back out again? No is the answer, so... Oh dear, so I'll have to think of something else. The head of the tap is now supported on the jaws of the vise. The tap is loose to move. I'm going to tap downwards now using this area. I've got an old bush, an old bronzy, coppery bush. Whatever that is, I can't remember what that's from, but anyway. Which will protect the threads. So I'm now going to try and tap down there and try and drive the body down, leaving the tap head there. Will it work? Who knows? Let's give it a go. So we need something to tap it down with, which I thought I had. But as usual, the minute I want it, it's disappeared. So I'll use a screwdriver, which is the wrong implement, but it's what's come to hand. So let's see if we get any movement. Yes is the answer. Try that again. Oops, a bit loose. Let's try and tighten that up very slightly. Try again. There we go, it's coming. Wonder if that'll come out by hand. Let's try by hand. Yes, hooray! Right, it's off. Let's have a closer look. Right, the tap's out of the way. This section here is actually cork. It appears to be, which it should be, although it's very, very hard. It would have originally been cork. And these are what you get to replace it with. Now, I think the next step is really clean all this up to try and make it all as visible as possible, because the body inside looks horrendously dirty, and the seems to be some black gunge filling the holes up. So I think a thorough clean first, and then we'll move on to disassembling the tap. Right, next I've got to get this section separated from the body of the tap in order to replace the cork, and it's mushroomed over rivet in the centre here. So I'm going to try and just tap that through using a thin punch. I'm not sure how successful this is going to be because the punch isn't actually as thin as I'd like, so it may not work first time, but we shall give it a go. No, it's a little heavier. And there it went, lovely. Very good. On the floor. Let's take that off and show you. So it's now split into two pieces. I've got the top where I punched the centre through, and then the main body of the tap, which, looking at it, actually looks slightly bent. But anyway, neither here nor there. I'll worry about that later. There's the cork, and that just slides off. So we're going to just clean this all off, fit a new cork, and then reattach the top. Right, the cork should in theory just slide onto there, which it does, and then your pin goes back onto there, which is slightly tight, so I'm going to need a little tap down, I think. Oops, just a little tap, and that's it back through. Now we need to spread the top there where we punched it through, so it's back to the vice yet again. Now, what I failed to mention when I was taking it apart is this particular tap has a reserve function, and therefore the relationship of the cap and this slot is important, which I should have mentioned. Most of them are more like this, which I'll just reach over and get, and more like this one, which you just pull on, turn to lock, no reserve, in which case the relationship isn't important. But on this one, it is. The slim punch here on the left is the one I used to split the tap, and now I'm going to use this fatter, rounder one to spread the centre pin to secure the chrome cap. So let's see if we can get that to work. Bit of a three-handed job this one, unfortunately, but anyway, basically I'm just going to put that in there and give it a tap. That's what happens when you're not able to support it because you're trying to work around a camera. But I'm pretty certain that's got it. Yep, I'll just do another tap off camera, make sure. The body's been cleaned out, the wire mesh has been removed from the top here because it's quite rusty and I didn't trust it. You can buy plastic replacements at the minute. I couldn't find any metal ones online. That may have changed by the time anyone sees this. I'm not bothering replacing it anyway because I intend running an inline filter. But one of the universal plastic ones should be possible to fit. I haven't actually tried, but I shall look into that. So then it's just a matter of refitting the cork and the body. There we go. And lining up, whoops a daisy, lining up your screw hole, fitting your screw. That's it, new cork. This is going to be sitting around for a while before it gets fitted on the bike. It's not uncommon for them to leak slightly until the cork swells up inside. So when I do fit it, I will probably leave it soaking with a drip tray underneath for a short time just to make sure that it isn't going to leak badly. And that's pretty much it.